magic.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
My name is Naoto, and
Nice to meet you.
nice to meet you. Working in Japan.
Thank you.
And as a big fan of Michael Jackson, I grew up with his music. This film was like a dream came true experience to see his best performance in front row.
Oh,
so
wow.
Thank you for doing this today.
Thank you.
I'm so
Thank you for
excited.
having us.
Thank you very much. And Jaffer, could you tell us about the process of becoming Michael so completely? What did you start with, and was there anything you struggled with along the way? And was there any small detail you cared about, even if most people might not notice it?
Yeah, for me it all started with how, I guess, learning about how acting works and like how all comes together on a film set. You know, it was my first experience being on a set, so I had to learn what that's like, you know, having the relationship with the director, how there's so many moving pieces to making a movie, and how to stay focused with what you need to do and being prepared. So I started with learning many different tools to use on how to evoke a certain emotion or to tap into like a personal memory of mine that will come across in a certain way so it can be in the world of Michael, and how would that relate, or if it has a certain similarity to Michael. So I did that for about a year, and then I got into all the dancing and the choreography. And I struggled with that a lot in the beginning. It was incredibly challenging. I had a lot of doubt, but I just knew that with time I'll get better. I just really wanted to make sure I captured his stage presence and his ability to perform the way he did, like having that same energy and that same aura and command that he had on stage, but also when he's off stage, being able to capture his humanity, his essence, and his mannerisms, like without even saying anything. How would it make people feel like that's Michael that they're looking at? So I wanted to study all of that about him. I collected so many photos and videos and songs that spoke to me the most, and I started with that in the beginning.
Great. I'm so surprised that your speaking voice now is so different from your voice in the movie.
Spread love, joy, and peace. That is what I want the world to feel.
How did you recreate Michael's everyday speaking voice?
With a lot of practice and listening as much as possible to his speaking voice from YouTube videos, or if it's like audio tapes that I have, of it just him speaking, like in a very normal conversational style. So I would, you know, collect as many audio tapes I can find on his speaking voice and just listen to it repeatedly every day for a couple years, and then I would go out in my own way and speak to the best of my ability, like out and about sometimes, or I would read books out loud in his voice, and then I just wanted to get to a place where I felt completely comfortable, and it came like second nature. It would come in a natural way, so I didn't have to be so analytical about it. I didn't want to think about doing it. I wanted it to come out like by itself without forcing it. Yeah.
Just gotta get him out.
I'm honored to be here, and I'm so excited for the Japanese people to catch up and see the film like the rest of the world have. And it's been so satisfying and gratifying that to see people all over the world celebrate Michael and celebrate going back to the cinema, having that couple of hours of escapism and entertainment.
Right.
And to show a young generation who Michael Jackson was, who didn't get to live through it. I was fortunate enough to meet Michael and hang out with Michael in 1981.
Really?
Yeah, and I was at the Victory Tour concert at Dodger Stadium.
Oh.
And I was at the Bad Tour concert in London. I've been friends with Michael and his brothers for a long, long time, so it's kind of doing the full circle now, making a story about him.
Right.
It's an honor for me to be able to do that.
Great. And I also really love your the Bohemian Rhapsody you produced before. And if you go to see YouTube, there's a video that comparing, you know, the scenes from the movie and the actual right way, the performance like side by side. And maybe people would do a kind of same thing with Michael, this movie. So did you feel pressure from that, or did you have the confidence that no matter how closely they look at or compare, this film would hold up?
I try not to think about that because it makes you so nervous, but you feel the pressure of people around the world waiting for the film and being excited. And as a producer, you have to make sure you live up to that and their expectations. It's about making sure people learn about these iconic artists. I love to humanize artists, and after the success of Bohemian Rhapsody, and especially in Japan, by the way, it's very successful.
Yes.
I wanted to challenge myself. You know, I had the greatest teacher one could have in the business, and that's Martin Scorsese. And he always told me and taught me about when you make a film and it's successful, you have to then pick something more challenging and always try and better yourself.
Wow.
So after the Freddie Mercury, it kind of made sense for me to dive into the Michael Jackson world. They're always very long journeys. We had many release dates announced and then cancelled. And part of that was getting the film right and making sure you get one shot to deliver a film and making sure that you tick a lot of boxes.
I heard the first day of shooting was a bad performance from that tour.
Yeah.
I imagine you came into the set and stepped into the stage, and there's hundreds of crews and other guys like looking at you like he's our Michael Jackson. So what do you remember about the moment?
Oh, that moment was filled with so much energy because there were so many years in the making before we got to that moment, a lot of preparation. So it was a huge relief once I got on that set, and you can feel the excitement and the nervousness from everyone on the crew because it was the first day, so we didn't know really what to expect because there were so many moving elements to capture that moment. But as soon as that music came on and all the extras were there and the crew and the lighting, it felt like a true concert. It was one of the most special moments on the duration of the shoot. I really enjoyed it with everything in me.
Right, and let me ask about the filming process, because on the Bohemian Rhapsody, you started with the Live Aid performance that came very end of the film, and just like that, with this film, you started the bad performance from the bad tour. So why do you like to start with such an important performance scenes?
Well, first of all, for the actors, I think it's advantageous for them to start with shooting with performances, because that's usually the biggest challenge, to create their own version of who they're playing. And now, after we shot Live Aid first, and then we did all the drama, and in this film we shot Bad and a lot of all the performances, and then we go into the drama, and it gives the actor more confidence to know that they've passed the highest test with dance moves, performance, being able to create this famous person on stage playing to 100,000 people. Freddie and Michael were very similar, that they played stadiums. They love to play stadiums, and they brought people together through their music. So to create that in a cinema, in the world we live in today, is a very special formula for us to make a film. So there's many reasons to start. You know, I read online that, you know, Graham King's biopics, Freddie Mercury jumping up and down before Live Aid to start the film, Michael Jackson jumping up and down before.
Right, yeah.
And that's more of a coincidence than a plan. But I think it's good to start with the tension of the scene in Bohemian Rhapsody, tell a story and then catch up to it. And with Michael, I also wanted to start with a Michael Jackson that the audience was more familiar with, which is a bad look. And not reveal him, just do it from behind.
Yes.
And get the audience more excited about, they know it's coming, they just don't know when.
Yeah. And Giuliano, you were already performing as a Michael before this film.
Yes.
What made you start in performing it, and how did you become involved in the movie?
Well, I auditioned for the role, and I think I had auditioned like many times. Wow, it was a really long process, and when I got the role, I was rehearsing at home. I was rehearsing at the studio, at different stages with Rich and Tone, the choreographers. And it was a really long and tedious experience, but I'm glad I had them in my corner to help me, you know, take on this role. And I'm glad they broke down the moves that I had to learn so I can, you know, learn the mechanics, and so it could be easier for me to understand.
How did you become a fan of Michael?
Well, I became a fan of Michael when my grandma introduced me to him, and I was about 4 or 5 years old. And she introduced me to the Smooth Criminal music video, and I immediately fell in love with it. I mean, I love that song. That's one of my all-time favorites. And from that day, I never stopped, practicing his moves. And so when I got the role, me dancing before I got the role, I already kind of knew what I had to do. I knew how to practice just like I did with the older Michael. But it was really hard for me to understand young Michael moves because he dances so much different from the older Michael.
Right.
Yeah.
This is interesting that in the US, people have been talking about the gap between what critics say and how the audience reacts. Because I'm not sure if you've seen Rotten Tomatoes, but the critic score is not very high, but the audience score is pretty high. So why do you think that kind of reaction happened with this film?
Well, first of all, I do think most critics critiqued his life, not our film. Critics are always tough on biopics. Critics didn't like Bohemian Rhapsody. It was 61% Rotten Tomatoes. So it was more than Michael, but not great. They like to think of themselves as more artistic critics. They'll score, Robbie Williams biopic with the monkey, 98%. Nobody in America saw the movie, right? So, I think the fans and the general public have told the critics once again, that they're not listening to them. Bohemian Rhapsody, I was more upset because I felt it was a better movie. And then we win 4 Academy Awards.
Yes.
And $900 million at the box office.
That's the result, yeah.
And how many young people read critics anymore? Right? Really, they don't have the time to read anything.
Yes.
So it's upsetting. But at the end of the day, I don't make movies for the New York Times. I make movies for the worldwide audience to come and celebrate, learn. I call them historical films because it's history they're learning, and have escapism. So, if the critics don't like that, then it's not going to stop me doing what I do.
I see, yeah.
If the audiences don't show up, then I'm going to second guess what I do.
Was there a moment when you realized this cannot just be an imitation?
From the very beginning, I knew there's no way of making a film about Michael Jackson by trying to mimic or be like an impersonator of him. You have to come at it from a deeper truth, like finding something within your own self that can relate to him, but also dissecting everything about Michael so you understand who he was as a person, as a performer, what he's feeling, what he's thinking. So that came with just studying everything about him, but also learning more about my own self. So I never wanted to try and mimic or come across as an impersonator. I just wanted to find the truth within myself that can draw that similarity that comes across as Michael.
Well, there was a scene that Jafar did. It was the scene where he was singing "Don't Stop Till You Get Enough" in the booth. When I heard you say, Q, can you lower the lights for me, please? I was just in shock because I thought that was actually Michael's voice. I thought that was CGI, but that was actually you. And I was just so amazed when I found out that that was his real voice.
Ready whenever you are, Michael.
Recreating Michael Jackson so completely, was there anything that did not work, no matter how many times you tried, until you finally found the solution?
Many drafts of the screenplay. Many drafts of the screenplay. And that's why it takes so many years. We had a lot of release dates announced that we never made.
I know.
And the world were getting very upset. But you get one opportunity and you have to get it right. And you've got someone's life, or half a life, or a quarter of a life. And you have to mold a 3-act cinematic experience out of that whole life. So you have to pick and choose what stories to tell within that structure. And it's very tough, especially with Michael Jackson and Freddie Mercury. There's so many stories. And I think the world accepts that we're not documentaries, and we have license to move dates around, move some reality around, but sticking to the narrative story of someone's life. In Bohemian Rhapsody, Freddie Mercury wasn't diagnosed with AIDS until after Live Aid. But for the film, it worked that he was diagnosed before Live Aid.
Yeah.
And a lot of critics, come after you for that. But then there's, you can go and watch many documentaries about Freddie Mercury. My job is an entertaining story, first and foremost. So it takes many years. The Bohemian Rhapsody took maybe 10 years, I think, to make and to get right. Michael's been since 2018, so that's 8 years. So they're very long process, and when you're producing, you live, or you should live, eat and breathe every day. And I become obsessed about getting it right and telling these stories. So it kind of takes over your life in a way. And the worst thing you can do is rush into something. You've got to make sure you're telling the right story.
If you could become a friend with Michael when he was the same age as you are now, what would you like to talk about with him?
I wouldn't want to talk about his career and stuff. I just want to talk to him like he's a regular person. So talk about normal kid things, like maybe playing outside or basketball, or maybe games or something like that, or just that type of stuff. I don't want to talk, about his fame or anything. Just want to.
No dance off?
Yeah, no dance off.
And through this film, what do you think audience may discover about Michael Jackson for the first time?
Well, first, a whole new generation that didn't get the chance to grow up with Michael. Everything would be fresh for them, which is so exciting. And they have their parents that they're there with that had the opportunity to grow up with Michael, so it's a full circle moment. But I really hope newer audiences, and also audiences that are familiar with Michael, learn something about his humanity, how he was as a person off stage, and his personality, just how he saw the world through his eyes. He really moved through the world a certain way, and I think having an idea of how he was raised and he grew up, and with that fame and having his family as his anchor, but then wanting to break out into the world with his own creative ideas and his independence, you see that journey of how he's breaking out into the world and finding his own path. So you will learn a lot within that. So I really hope people get to feel that when they see the film, but also enjoy all the performances, the songs, the recreations of those iconic videos, and his creative process, what that was like, which he was so private about. So we don't know much about it, so you'll get an insight into how that was with this movie.
Right.
I hope they find out who Michael Jackson was as a person. This is their foundation, to know who he was as like a real person. Because I feel like the audience only knows Michael when he's on the stage and performing, but they don't know who he is personally.
Yeah.
So this movie is definitely a start, and I'm very excited for them to see it.
Right. There are so many musician biopic being made today. Like I heard that Universal is working on the Bon Jovi's movie, and you also been working on the Bee Gees. So,
Right.
in your opinion, what is the key to make successful one?
Wow, there's a lot of ingredients that goes into that part. For me, it's about showing the world an iconic person, whether they're a performer or a politician or an inventor, and humanizing them. Humanizing geniuses, and whether it was Leonardo DiCaprio in Aviator, in Howard Hughes, Muhammad Ali, Freddie Mercury, Michael Jackson, and even to somewhat, I made a film called Argo, and Tony Mendez's story, and just showing the world an insight, giving the world an insight into who these people are, especially performers, because there's the persona of who they are. They go on stage and they play a character, but it's the off stage that the people want to see. So it's a combination of both. And I remember I used to talk about the Michael Jackson, let's give the world a front row ticket to Michael on and off of stage. One of Michael's most famous quotes is, he said he was born on stage, and when he wasn't on stage, the world was foreign to him.
Wow.
I wanted to dissect that and show the audience what he meant by that. And I think we've shown them in this film.
Great.
Magic.
Juliano, Michael Jackson's performance have some kind of magic that cannot be explained by
Yeah.
technique alone. For you, what was the magic?
The magic, everything. The dancing, the singing, you know, just the lyrics, the songs in general. That's the magic.
Yeah.
Just his stage presence.
I agree with Giuliano. He had such a magical aura and his ability to create something that can resonate with the entire world, whether it's a dance move or it's a lyric or it's a full song or it's a beat, you know, whatever it may be, or if it's his message. You know, he had so many different categories that really spoke to so many cultures and people of all ages. The way he performed on stage, the way he moved, it seemed like an illusion. It seemed like magic, you know, doing the moonwalk or the side glide or the way he would spin, and there was such an intensity and such a wonderment to it that didn't seem like it can be possible by a human in some way. He made it seem so easy, so seamless. So I think those are the qualities that come to me at the moment.
After producing this movie for so many years, what was the magic for you?
Jafar Jackson.
Great.
I met him, he didn't want to act, he didn't want to be in film. I felt a certain kind of magic. I knew Michael Jackson when he was 21, 22. When I met Jafar, he was 21, 22.
Wow.
So I felt the same kind of feeling I felt when I was with Michael from Jafar, and persuaded him to try and learn and train, and I would help him and put him through the Rami Malek school and prepare him, and I would protect him, and he just had to work hard, really, really hard, and not worry about the pressure of playing his own uncle. He's incredible. I mean, literally, the minute he's on screen, you don't even think whether that's Michael or not. I don't anyway. And then little Giuliano was the same. It was the same kind of formula.
Yeah.
And so without them two, there's no film. Because I also auditioned nearly 200 impersonators. For me, it was all about, when I met Jafar, we're going to make a movie. I'm not sure when, but we're going to make a movie. So that to me was the highlight, for sure.
So I heard the sequel is working on, and what can you tell us about it? And will you find other actors for older Michael?
Oh no, I think we found our Michael. We'll see what happens. There's been a lot of talk. Obviously, the film says his story continues at the end. I think there's more story to tell of Michael's, but for now it was focusing on this film. And obviously we just not even released it in Japan yet. And I think Jafar and myself and everyone involved needs to take a minute, and then we'll see what happens.
Great. And the film has already been released around the world and has received strong reactions from audiences. What part of the film would you most confidently recommend it to Japanese fans who are about to see it?
I can't wait for them really to take in the whole film, but to see the performances that we recreated and to the scale of how we recreated them, and to get that experience like as if you're there, watching him in the audience from that point of view, but also to get those moments when he's not even saying much, or he's in the creative process, or you get that vulnerability side of him. So I can't wait for the Japanese audiences to experience those iconic moments that they may be familiar with, or the newer ones that they've never seen, where it's more so like behind the scenes of leading up to some of those big iconic moments. So there's a lot that I'm excited for the Japanese fans to get to experience when they watch this film.
Thank you very much, and it seems like my time is up here.
Well, thank you so much, and I hope people in Japan enjoy the film. This was Michael's favorite country.
Yeah.
And I think for them seeing on social media, everyone around the world enjoying it, so I hope they have the same experience.
If the sequel will happen, let's shoot some scenes in Japan.
No question that's going to happen. No question, no question. As I say, there's a lot of story to tell.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you for doing this today and welcome to
Thank you
Japan.
for having me.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Arigato. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Arigato.
much. How often do you come to Japan?
I used to come quite often, but I have not been for many years. Last time I was here was with Martin Scorsese and Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
We came to promote, was it either The Departed or The Aviator? I think it was The Departed. And The Departed is 20 years old this year.
Wow.
So many, many years ago.
Yeah.
Yes, and I had the most incredible life experience because I had dinner with Bill Clinton at the Park Hyatt, at the top of the Park Hyatt.
No way.
When we were here, yeah.
Wow, great.
I was a baby.